Good evening, one and all, and you are chilling with Kenny C right here on TMVCafe.com. It's Kenny Comes here. I'm joined with a hip hop artist. He got Kentucky ties. You know what I'm saying? Very, very busy hip hop artist, very active, packed catalog, if you will. He's been releasing music nonstop. This is his third time on the show. And this is his first time doing the virtual route, if you will. I'm joined with the homie Trez Aurland. What's good?
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm good, man. Thank you so much for taking the time, man, and being on the show. Good to have you
Yes, sir.
back.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. So I'm looking at your Bandcamp page, bro, and it's just non-stop. You just
Yeah.
release countless of projects. You have released some free material. You have released some EPs. You released some collaborations. Like, dog, I don't even know where to start, man. So, we'll try to. I guess I'll be nitpicking on some things. So, um, you got. Let's start with some collaboration stuff that you've been working on first. Some collaboration EPs. You got a collaboration EP with Stevie Stone. Anyone that knows Stevie, he's well known underground independent hip hop artist. This record is called Make It Wish. So let's start with that EP first. Talk about um what what got you and Stevie linked up. What made y'all got together and wanted to work on this collaboration EP?
Well, actually, the EP with Stevie and the EP with Chris Calico, they're both along the lines of the same thing. They were done, I think, like a year apart from each other. Not release date, but when these things were held. So they both got they both got the word "wish" in the title, and they're both spelt with a Y instead of a I, because there's a producer named Wishmaster who solely produced both projects, and he held a contest. Um, the Chris Calico contest was last year. The Stevie contest was 2020, and it was you do a verse to this beat, and whoever comes in the first three places, they are the top three. They get this pack for free, which is like a bunch of beats by Wishmaster, a bunch of hooks by either artist at the time that the contests were held, and then some verses as well. So those both of those projects are actually more so like leased than more than like more than official. But with both of them, I like to consider them a little more. I feel like I did my thing with them as opposed to most people that might have gotten those packs, because people just kind of leave them as is, to where I tried to like move stuff around. So like for instance, when you get the pack, you get the stems to it. So if people listen to it, they'll notice, especially with the Stevie one, there's like my songs don't start the same as other ones do, because I like take parts out of the beat and stuff like that. So those ones are more so just from those packs. If anybody that saw the contest or was fans of either of them, they know what I'm talking about. But yeah, those are more so like leased than anything. But the one with Gordy is official.
Gotcha. So I'm glad you brought that up because when people listen to these songs, they just people assume like they know each other or there was a deal done here and there. So you know, talk about the difference between the lease. Break down the whole process as of how does that work as far as a lease or things of that nature from
Well,
your
with the packs, it was like, um, yeah, it was leased because it was given to the public. They do the contest, and whoever comes in the top three places, they get
yeah.
the pack for free. But then it's leased to the public for a certain amount of time, and you can buy it for however much. Um, as opposed to something that's official, where you would, like, for instance, the one that's official is me and Gordy, and then like some other ones coming up as well. That's where we actually like pick beats together, decide, all right, which ones are we going to use? Then we sit there and share like either song ideas or like for instance on the intro to the one with Gordy, it's like I did my parts and then he filled in his. So it sounds like we're just like going back and forth like in the studio together on like some cipher shit. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's way more exclusive. It's personal when it's original stuff as opposed to something that's least that's just kind of a producer and an artist get together, they make a pack and then put it out there for the public.
gotcha. So even so, the wish is definitely you're working on these projects. Got the wish serious. So I like the projects. Obviously, Stevie. I've been listening to him for quite a while. Chris
Me too.
Calico. I'm familiar with his work. I've seen him perform with Tech and Lexington. I
That's what's
think
up.
once or twice at Manchester Music Hall. I think the last time I seen Strange Music was this past fall, less than a year ago. And I actually got to meet with some of the Strange Music artists, including Tech. Um, so Strange Music, their resume speaks for itself as far as being one of the most respected independent hip hop labels. What they've meant, doing things their way, obviously. So,
Yeah.
so props to Strange Music for sure. Um, so I'm still scrolling, obviously. You also got WTRES radio. You released Channel 1 and Channel 2 through Bandcamp this year. Talk about that particular series, the story behind those projects.
Well, both of them was just I had actually made the skits that are on them. I had made them years ago, back when before I actually decided to make the Lost Files. Because what the Lost Files is a bunch of songs that were on. I had like 300, 400 something songs on SoundCloud. Then, like late 2015, I lost this flash drive that had all my Pro Tools songs on it. So that's why they're called the Lost Files, because the files are literally lost. The only copies I had left of those songs is whatever was put out on SoundCloud. So I went through the 300 something songs on SoundCloud, decided which ones were worth keeping, put them together, and then made the Lost Files. So when I made the Lost Files, though, um, there was a show early 2016, and I was going to see Method Man and Redman, and I had seen them a couple years before, but I wanted to give them like a double disc demo just to show them like, hey, like I make a lot of music, and I built these skits around these songs, and it was gonna be like exclusively for just the demo I give to him. It was gonna have these skits, and I wasn't gonna put the skits on the songs anywhere else. And then I ended up not being able to give it to him, but I felt like the little characters I had made up for it and all that, I was just like, I want to hold on to these. So those skits have just been saved all these years. And then so when I decided like, because that's what I was going to call the demo was TRES radio. I was like, why don't I just make that, like run with that title still, use these same skits, but just put it over like newer music. So both of those channels are like a mixture of stuff from as recent as like the beginning of this year to all the way back to like 2015, because I make so much music that it's like I still got I still have a couple songs here and there that are from like way back in the day and stuff. So that's one of the things that actually motivated me to be like, all right, by the end of this year, I'm going to have everything that I've ever made released, because I just turned 30 in July. And so I'm like, I'm turning a new decade. So I want to turn a new page. So like, I don't want to leave this year with like anything unreleased, anything. I want to go into like the new year with all brand new stuff. So that's one of the reasons that I did both of those, made a channel 1, channel 2. That's the reason I packed so many songs into each project, but also why I'm releasing so many back to back is because that's like the deadline I set for myself is just like anything in the vault period, everything got to be released by the end of the year. So I still got like 6 more projects to drop, but
Man, six more projects, as in full length projects.
nah. So there's 3 EPs,
Okay.
2 mixtapes, and one album. The mixtapes in the album will be like full length, like over an hour long. But the three EPs, it's like 6 songs. One of them's 8 songs, and one of them's 9 songs. So it's like, and they're two of them are collaborative. So one is an EP with my dude up here named June June. One EP is with C Ray, who's like the main person I collab with. And then one EP is a solo, but got a lot of features on it, and it's called the Sample Platter because it's every song samples like a classic song that's really well known. They sample some of the songs that are sampled on that EP are like Rosa Parks by Outkast, Two of America's Most Wanted by Tupac, Saturday by Ludacris, Why You Bullshitting by Sugar Free. I even got one on there that samples Erotic City by Prince. So it's like it's only 8 tracks, but they all sample like big classic old school songs. So the way that the beats are flipped, I think people are going to enjoy it.
Wow. So that's incredible. I'm honestly looking forward to all these projects. So you pretty much let it be known, like, okay, entering the new decade, let's get all these projects out the way, and then on to
Yeah.
2023, all new material. So how
And
so
especially because I
yeah.
became a father 2 years ago, and so since some of this music that I'm still sitting on is from before that time, I know that I obviously like when my daughter was born, I feel like I just completely did like a 180 on who I was as a person. Like everything changed. So that I also look at that older music as kind of like that's the old me. So that's another reason I want to just like get it all out. So come January, anything people hear after, they know that that's the current me and not some stuff I might have been sitting on like 5 years or so.
So all six remaining of these projects, obviously, they're all going to be available on Bandcamp at some point.
Yeah.
So that's tresaurland.bandcamp.com. You can go listen to all the projects from Tress Aurland, collaboration projects, solo projects, mixtapes, everything and anything you can think of. This man has a huge catalog of music. He'll release some projects on the platforms, but if you want to listen to everything, you go to tresaurland.bandcamp.com. He's got
Yeah.
6 new projects, so stay
And
tuned.
out of the ones coming up, the EP with C Ray, that one will be on all platforms. And then my first official like debut album, that'll be on all platforms as well. But the EP with June June, the Sample Platter EP, and then the 2 mixtapes, that'll just be Bandcamp and YouTube, like the rest of the mixtapes.
Gotcha. So let's talk about C-Ray since you mentioned him. That's your go-to artist, producer, extraordinaire. Like I like the hip hop artists and producer connection, especially
Yeah.
clicking with each other. Like that's Gangstar, high
I
tech,
was
Talib
I was just
Kweli.
I was just listening to Gangstar. That's crazy you say them. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
man. So talk about so as I mentioned, just a few, and there's so many like Dre, Snoop. I can put them names in there. So
There's a
talk
lot,
about the
yeah.
connection. Talk about the connection you have with C-Way, man. What makes y'all click? What makes y'all have that good chemistry when producing
I,
this
I
music?
think I think we both are just so in the same vein of like what we like, what we listen to, and who we look at as inspirations. Because I had a conversation with him one time about that, and I was just like, just on some random shit, like who do you consider to be the best, or who do you like listen to the most often? And we're naming all the same people. Like we like who we put in like that Mount Rushmore, or like even the top 10, whatever. We all listen to like that late '90s, early 2000s. He even mentions he's got a line on our upcoming EP where he says something like fuck the new rappers, I'm still bumping Who Kid and 50. And I'm like, yeah, like that's where my mind is, like that mixtape era of like when Wayne first started breaking away from the Hot Boys and G Unit first blew up and all that stuff, and Ludacris was selling like 3-4 million copies off every album. That era. I feel like was just so you could do no wrong. Like between especially like 2002 to 2007, I feel like even the weakest stuff out, it was really good. So it's like me and him always like, and we dabble in some of like the newer stuff and try to incorporate into our styles. But I feel like that's like who we are naturally. Like if we picked a bunch of beats, like we're right in that same vein with each other. We have the same like our taste in music, what the stuff that we try to do is it's pretty much the same. So it's not like button heads, like we've got two total opposite perspectives on music.
Gotcha. And back in those days, early 2000s, the mixtape days, it was a fascinating time. Because when
Yeah.
you're in the mixtape era, you can do whatever you want. You ain't got no label, no exec, no A&R telling you what you can and can't do. That was a leeway for a lot of artists, guys like 50 Cent, guys like Dipset, guys like Pat Poose, who's one of my favorite underground hip hop artists of all time. Guys like that.
I still remember Alphabetical Slaughter.
Yeah, yeah. Like do you know how creative you have to be to pull off a song like that? That just tells you Pat Poose was on a whole nother level.
Oh, for
Yeah,
sure, for
yeah.
sure.
So
Because I
that's
remember that was I want to say '06 or '07. I
yeah,
was like a freshman in high school, and I'll give you an exclusive. I haven't told too many people this. This is real corny, but I mean, I was a kid, so I was running with rap names before I decided to just run with my birth name. My name at the time was Maniac T, so I tried doing that with Alphabetical Slaughter, where it was the Maniact, and I still remember part of it, but it's like it's very difficult because I remember like for hours because you've got to make all the words start with the same letter before you switch to the next one, and it's got to make sense. Like it's very difficult. The fact that man could pull it off and then do it more than once. I heard that he like did it again recently.
yeah,
He's a genius. He's an absolute genius.
yeah. He did it. The first one he did, he went from A to Z, and then the follow up he did went from Z to A.
Hey, crazy.
So and it was all literally different words.
Yeah,
So it's not repeating the same words on the follow up as it is with the first one. So that
yeah,
guy's he's lyrically different, man. Those mixtape
very.
days were different. And look, I listen to today's music like anybody else, but when I'm in my car on my way to work or on my way home from work, I'm listening to strictly 2000 stuff.
The
There'll be
classic shit.
some,
Yeah,
and I'll be listening to a Big Mike mixtape. I'll be listening to a DJ Who Kid
yeah.
mixtape. I'll listen to Clue, Envy, DJ
Remember,
Smalls,
I remember telling you
Drama.
this. I remember
Yeah,
the last time we talked. I remember telling you this. Big Mike broke Wiz's very first mixtape. Big Mike did that one.
yeah,
A lot of people don't realize that because that's when Wiz was trying to be like kind of on that tip as well, like being super
yeah,
lyrical over like East Coast beats and stuff. People don't realize that man Wiz can rap.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Wiz Khalifa, man, he's changed. He's evolved a bit, more
yeah,
smooth, more laid back. Kind of feel like he's on that Snoop Dogg stage at his career where he just be cool, laid back, smoke, and just have fun.
yeah,
He'll give you some lyrical content every now and then, but he's in this lane and he's following his own trend. So,
for
and
sure.
if anyone haven't seen Wiz Khalifa perform, please do. If he comes to a city near you, check that brother out. I've seen him, and I
Oh yeah,
got to
yeah.
admit,
His shows
yeah,
are crazy. He's
yeah,
one of the best hip hop performers for sure.
yeah. And now I will say this though, especially for non-smokers like myself, you gonna end up smelling like weed. You gonna have some marijuana contact
You gonna
while
get high
in
off
there.
contact, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And people was telling me like that, like, no, I don't believe that at first, but I guess maybe I was feeling something different. Like I did made it back home okay. So at least it wasn't as strong as people may think it is.
Yeah, no, yeah, Wiz is everybody knows that Wiz is up there with like the Snoops and the Cheech and Chongs and Be
Yeah,
Real and stuff like.
yeah. Just he's like he ain't bothering nobody. He ain't hurting nobody. He just like smoke and have fun. Kind of like some Snoop
Facts.
is.
It's
Uh,
crazy to think too. I feel like I mean he's definitely one of the biggest, but I feel like none of his stuff gets the attention that like Cushion Orange Shoes got, for instance. And it's crazy to me because I'm like I feel like he's one of them dudes that delivers like every project. His that last one, Multiverse,
yeah,
I've played that one on loop like plenty times. It's a dope album.
yeah. Just the picks. He kind of opened a lot of eyes to the Pittsburgh hip hop side of things.
Yeah.
Because what the moment I heard of Riz, then I started listening to Mac Miller after that. So I know
R.I.P.
I
Yeah.
listened to Mac because of Wiz. Those were the guys in Pittsburgh. Philly, everybody knows Benny Siegel, Cassidy, Young Guns. Um,
The Young Guns, I forgot
yeah,
about them.
yeah. So I got so many CD cases of mostly 90s and 2000s.
Oh
Like,
man, I
yeah,
do
so,
too. You know the big booklets that hold like
yeah,
400?
yeah.
I
I
got like
got
6 of them.
I got plenty of booklets with 250 CDs.
Yeah,
So
that's what's
it's
up,
the LimeWire days, bro.
man.
The burnt
I
CDs.
I think what takes up a lot of mine too is um I'm big into discographies. Like if there's an artist out there that makes good enough stuff, like if they deliver enough on every project that I'm like, oh yeah, like I'll just get their whole discography. I've got the discographies of a lot of people, so I think that's what takes up a lot of my stuff too. Because you look at like specifically Wiz and Wayne, I don't feel like there's many people that got. Well, I would say Wiz, Wayne. I actually just told somebody this recently. Who is it? Wiz, Wayne, E40, and Juicy J. They got some of the biggest catalogs, and those are 4 of the people that I collect everything by.
Yeah.
So that's the majority of my CDs right there alone is those 4.
I'm pretty sure I got a lot of Wayne mixtapes in there. I got the Squad Up
You got the
mixtapes.
squad up?
I
Yeah.
got I got the Drought
Yep.
mixtapes. That
Yep.
was Baby Wayne. And we talking like before the Carter albums, and he's really started to catch a lot of people's attention.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So
I still think Wayne's freestyle on that C Murder Down for Mine, that was
yeah,
one of the coldest freestyles he's ever done.
yeah,
Ever.
yeah,
And
yeah. But
I was like 9 when that came out, but I remember
yeah,
downloading that.
yeah. And I think he's working on a Carter 6 right now. So
Yeah.
he's still going. I guess a lot of the younger hip hop artists, they missed out on peak Wayne. They missed out
Yeah.
on that, after the Hot Boys and part of the race for Cash Money at the time. He really went on his own, built his own empire, and the West is history. So, um,
I always tell people like Wayne's catalog is so extensive and so legendary, but had he never put out any of his official projects, just the stuff alone that got leaked by him from like
yeah,
'04 to '08, he would have still been top 5. You look at all the Drought is Overs, the New Orleans Nightmares, Louisianimals. None of those are official projects, but the songs on those are crazy,
yeah. He
crazy. Like
he he had the features, and he be rapping on everybody else's beats and say, "Yo, those are my songs." That's
yeah, I think the year 2007 alone, they said he put out like at least 600 songs. I'm like, there's only
yeah,
365 days in a year. How did you do that? Like, it's
bro.
all fire too. Like, it wasn't just like filter. Like, he killed all of
Nah,
them.
no,
Like,
no
I'm like,
filter, no restrictions whatsoever. Birdman just looked at it like, man, you do what you do, Louise. Just get you some sleep, but
facts.
like
That's
six
that.
hundred
That I think.
songs.
I think artist wise is that's my main goal. that's like the when I feel like I'll be in my prime or when I reach my peak is when I get in that zone that he was in, where it's just like you kill everything you do and you can put out like you got the quality and the quantity and you can just put out like a mass amount of music back to back and it's just like people will actually listen because it's just fire all the time because I feel like anybody could do that where they just push out like 6 7 mixtapes a month but it might be a lot of filler stuff that people ain't even gonna listen to more than once but Wayne put out that amount and it was just like really you killed every one of these like this like that's where I want to get to. It's just like this. I go on a streak where I just every feature, freestyle, solo stuff, collaborative project, and I'm just killing everything. That's where I want to get to eventually.
Shout out to Weezy, man. I'm joined with Trez Aurland. Check out his catalog since that's kind of the theme in it appears. TrezAurland.bandcamp.com. He also got a lot of his music on the platforms as well. Just look up Trez Aurland and his music is there. I like the Don't Play joint. I don't
Yeah,
know if you noticed it recently, but I had a Music Monday episode and it was on Labor Day and I did 2 hours instead of 1 hour. And I believe I got Don't Play on there.
I saw that on your playlist. That's what's
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
Shout out to Macavina for getting me on that song because
yeah,
I told him I was like, man, you might just have my favorite song I've ever featured on. Like
yeah.
I love that song.
And shout out to the individual with the album cover for that song. Play the old throwback
Oh,
PlayStation.
right,
Um,
right. He
you
sent
know,
that to me with no warning. It wasn't no text attached. It was just like he had sent a photo. I opened it and I was like, "What?" Like, yeah, fire, super fire. I still need to get graphics from that guy. He killed it.
Man, that's that. That's what's up. Trez, man, thank you so much for wanting to do this Zoom thing.
Of
Appreciate you,
course.
man. And thank you for being on the show as always. You're always welcome to be on. And appreciate you taking the time and look forward to hearing these last 6 projects from you. And you on to 2023 with all new material. So he's got some free projects on Bandcamp, and he's got some um, projects you got to pay for, obviously, because you know these music don't come cheap.
Yeah,
So so
I don't like to put too much on there. I give people free stuff, but yeah, I still
yeah,
gotta make some money.
and you gotta make similar, yeah. So especially on the Bandcamp Friday, every first Monday of the month, they've been doing it since the whole pandemic thing started, and Bandcamp will always have my respect because they've
Yeah,
done the most for independent artists than any other platform since this pandemic. So,
that's
uh,
facts. Shout out
so
to Bandcamp. That's definitely my favorite platform for sure.
yeah. So, man, you take care of yourself. You enjoy your night, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and take care, man. Thanks again for your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
All right, you have a good night.
You too.
All right,
Later.
yeah.